This video will help you learn how to use and properly care for your Silhouette cutting mat. Alternate videos are also available on Silhouette cutting machine maintenance and other replaceable components of your machine, such as blades and the machine's cutting strip. Cutting mats are necessary to hold various material types in place during the cutting process. There are basically two types of material: those that have their own adhesive backing, such as sticker sheets or vinyl, and those that do not have a backing, such as paper or cardstock. You'll need to use a cutting mat when using materials that are not wide enough to be gripped evenly by the machine's pinch rollers. Unless using a cutting machine model that offers the pop-out cut feature, such as the Portrait 3 or Cameo 4, you'll likewise need to use a cutting mat when using materials that do not have their own liner backing. The cutting mat should be strong enough to hold your material in place so that it doesn't shift side to side during the cutting process. There are 3 tack levels available for most cutting mats. Standard tack for use with the most common material types, light tack for use with lighter materials such as printer paper or more delicate materials, and strong tack for use with thicker materials and fabrics. All cutting mats come with a protective liner that covers the adhesive surface of the mat. To prepare the mat for use, carefully peel off the protective liner to expose the mat's adhesive surface. Place the original liner to the side in a safe place until you are finished using the mat. The top of the mat is indicated by an arrow showing you which direction to load your mat into the machine. Most mats have an arrow on both ends, indicating that the direction of the mat is interchangeable. In this case, you can use your mat in either direction to prolong its lifespan. When placing material onto the cutting mat, you'll generally want to align your material into the upper left-hand corner of the mat, making sure to keep the whole of the material within the grid-marked cutting area of the mat. You should be able to press your material onto the mat by hand. As you load your mat into the machine, make sure the left side of the mat is aligned with the proper loading guide mark on your machine. The cutting mat should be loaded in straight so that the loading edge of the mat is not crooked. It should also be properly gripped by both of the machine's pinch rollers. Both pinch rollers should be aligned with the outside edge of the mat so that as the mat moves in and out of the machine, neither pinch roller is rolling over the adhesive portion of the mat. Once aligned properly, press the load button on your Silhouette cutting machine. For some older models, there may be a special load mat button. On newer machines, there is simply an all-purpose load button. After use, remove the material from your mat. Make sure that any small pieces of material remaining on the mat are removed. You can carefully remove these with a spatula tool. If using materials that are more fibrous in nature, there may be lint or other material debris left behind. This can be carefully removed with a scraper tool. However, avoid pressing down too hard when scraping the mat to avoid damaging the adhesive surface. You may also be able to use a disposable lint roller to remove fibers from the mat if needed. Avoid washing the cutting mat, as this can negatively impact the adhesive. When not in use, make sure to cover your mat with the original liner. If left uncovered while not in use, the mat's adhesive surface may collect dust or other particles. Some material types will wear down cutting mats more quickly. For example, felt or low-quality cardstock that may be more fibrous in nature can quickly wear down the mat's adhesive. Likewise, repeated cuts in the exact same position can more quickly wear down the cutting mat. Regardless of the material type used or repeating cutting job location, the cutting mat's adhesive will wear down over time and your mat will need to be replaced. If materials are shifting or not being held down in place properly during the cutting process, then you will need to replace the cutting mat. Do not spray or apply alternate adhesives onto the surface of the cutting mat in order to try to revive the mat or make it stickier. The original adhesive found on silhouette cutting mats is specially formulated to work with silhouette cutting machines. Alternate adhesives can cause serious issues and result in permanent damage to the machine that prevents proper operation of the silhouette's cutting process. This is most often found with foreign adhesives coming into contact with the pinch rollers and then getting pulled into the inner workings of the machine. Always use genuine silhouette cutting mats. Silhouette cutting machines are precision instruments. The cutting mat is designed to specifically work with silhouette machines. Alternate mats from other machine systems or other mats that claim to work with the silhouette machine may not be properly sized to the exact thickness and specifications, or may have alternate adhesive types that can damage the machine as previously noted. The use of non-genuine silhouette machine components can cause serious damage to the machine, either immediately or over time, and can permanently impair further proper machine operation. For example, the use of alternate system cutting mats can cause the silhouette machine over time to no longer properly grip materials directly, such as vinyl, when feeding them directly into the silhouette machine. Issues resulting from the use of non-genuine silhouette machine components cannot be covered under the machine's warranty.